Shall we move forward? So, welcome to New Moon Dedication. When you signed up for this class, you got the first PDF, which was a 4-page PDF. I mean, 3 pages if you count this beautiful artwork that was on the front cover that I'm very proud of. Okay. So, yes, I do like fancy shit. It's who I am. If you don't like it, suck it. So when I do a PDF for you guys, I want to break this down in lots of things that you need to be experiencing and learning before you come into this class. So this PDF was all about getting to know you. Did you all do your pre-work? I know some of you are full of shit because you just downloaded it this morning. I mean, maybe you're not the full of shit ones that are here right now, but there are a few that are full of shit that just downloaded it this morning. This is a pretty extensive PDF to just get it this morning and work through it. This one's pretty thick, okay? So tonight, I gave you this one. Now, I put this up in the store tonight because you don't need it for this lecture, but this is a great PDF for you to have on hand if you choose to buy it, okay? You don't need it. It's not necessity, but if you're going to go forward with this and you're going to do it, there's a lot of things in here that might help you, okay? First and foremost in this, let's talk about the dark moon energy that is sitting here right now. This is a step into a nostalgia era with you and your bones, okay? You and your bones have been through 13 moon cycles prior to tonight. That was the previous year, correct? No matter how you count this, there is 13 moon cycles previous to tonight. Make sense? We all agree on that, right? And you're in all these squares and hypotenuses and fucking Jupiter's upside down. And I'm not an astrologist, okay? But what I am going to tell you is the collective energy is asking you to sit and be one with yourself. And for some people, this is the hardest fucking exercise in the world. Holding sacred space for yourself is 10 times harder than holding sacred space for anyone else. It is hard because we have been taught that holding sacred space for ourselves is selfish. Self care is indulgent. And if you are slow, you are lacking something, you are not delivering, you are not moving forward. A lot of people are learning to move at the speed of the goddess. A lot of people are learning about divine timing right now. A lot of people are learning that it is not their way or the fucking highway in magic. Magic has its own beautiful symphony, and you can learn to waltz, two-step, or actually just sit down and watch other people dance. You do not always have to be the one dancing. There are seasons of growth and seasons of slow. We're reading the seasonal soul, which is beautiful to go with this moon. Okay. First of all, you need to give yourself this concept of grace. It just doesn't belong to the Christians. We can take back this concept of grace. In fact, I encourage you to take back grace. Grace is more than my ex-mother in law. It is a notion of supporting oneself in the middle of turmoil. You are going to make choices. They are not going to make sense to everyone. Some of your friends think you need to go to the nuthatch. I have many friends who think I need to be put into the nuthatch. They think the things that I hear, see, and I probably need some medicine for. That's awesome. They are also not digging deep into their inner self to do massive healing. So, the one thing you need to understand in trauma is there is a response time in every trauma. In ERs, they call it the first 24. In murder cases, they call it the first 48. In shadow work, it's the first 6 months. Those first 6 months, you are going to find gushing wounds that you never knew you had. That's why these moon cycles, each one is important. This dark moon time is a place to sit in, take personal inventory, look at the way you're doing things in your magic. Now, every moon isn't a gotta rededicate, gotta rededicate. I mean, if you are, oh, bitch, can we be friends? Because that's fire coochie energy right there. That's some fire coochie energy. If every moon you're rededicating to yourself. I'm going to give you tools that every moon you can do that. So this moon, you're going to make the salt. This moon, you're going to make your oil. This moon, you're going to find your personal preferences. Bitch, if you don't start treating yourself like a temple, someone else is going to run over you and take over. This dedication is not aimed at a deity alignment. Have you noticed that? There was no deity list in this, and you all know I can make a fucking killer deity list. Bitch, where's the crown on that one? I can give you 10 pages of deity shit. I'm all about it. But I'm going to tell you right now, till you dedicate, align your ass with these 5 elements and pull yourself out of the equation of the deity, you are going nowhere. Sit down and make yourself the fire. Everything else will build around you. Once you're on fire, you never have to look for something else to light you up. You are the source of your magic. Now, is this going to be totally carefree and effortless? No, not one fucking bit. Your hands are going to hurt from writing. Your nose is going to be from smelling different shit. You all have a smell. You all have a flavor. You each are your own individual flavor of magic. You know, you see these shirts everywhere that says, if you want to taste magic, lick a witch. When you lick a witch, you should tell what she tastes like. Because I have sat in the dark wood on a dark moon and had the wolf lick my face and move on because I'm not what he was looking for. I'm not the witch he was looking for. That demon knows I'm not what it wants. I don't taste like that. Some of you have not ventured into what is it that corresponds with you. Just because water to you is a lily and water to someone else is a seashell doesn't make it any less. Your correspondences are your correspondences. Start taking control of where you're walking. Start taking control of what you're saying. How do you expect to manifest when you don't hold yourself as the goddess? This is your turn. This is your time to step forward. So when we're making this new moon dedication, the first thing you need is a fucking mantra. What are you made of? What do you believe in? What are you looking for? For some of us, it can just be, I'm looking to be better than I was before. I'm looking to be consistent. I'm looking to be powerful. I'm looking to be aligned. I'm looking to taste like this. I'm looking to smell like this. I'm looking to have this deity look upon me in worthiness. Let me tell you something. No deity is going to want shit or dick to do with you if you don't feel your own worth. RuPaul should be a fucking deity because that is the most valuable lesson you can learn. If you can't love yourself, how the hell you going to love somebody else? It's true. The first step in being a witch is holding yourself sacred. This dedication is about making you sacred, making promises to yourself with the universe. This is what I need. This is where I'm going, and this is how I'm doing it. It's your business plan for the next how many months? Let's just get to spring, bitch. Let's just get to spring. Stop taking yourself for 13 months. You're so full of shit. For 13 months, you were doing none of that. I love that you have that ambition for yourself. You and I both know for 13 months, you're not going to stick to that plan. For the next 3 moon cycles, 3 moon cycles we can do, right? That takes us to March, correct? You can get to Ostara. If Persephone can crawl out of hell, you can get to Ostara. Do you understand this? Do you think she's leaving down there because she wants to? She's leaving down there because it's her fucking job. And holding yourself sacred and working your magic is what you fucking sign up for when you say, I'm a witch. And you run around with your shirts that say I'm a witch, and you run around with your jewelry that says I'm a witch, and you run around with your bullshit and your social media posts and all your nonsense yelling you're a witch and you're not doing your fucking witch work. I'm sorry. Are we not close enough to have that discussion? Because that's where we're at. If you're sitting here with me tonight, I'm going to be fucking honest with you. Stop toting a flag that you don't do the work to hold down. Being a witch is more than a social media post. Being a witch is more than the decorations in your house. It is a dedication to being in total control of yourself, your emotions, and your intentions. Yes, we are out of balance quite frequently. Isn't that what that Reiki shit's for? Okay. Learn some fucking Reiki, control your energy. Okay. Am I good at that? Of fuck to the no. Okay. Because 10 times a day, I want to tear someone's throat out and just hold it in my hand like the queen of the damned. I just want to go around and grab hearts out and be like, oh, well, guess what? That is not a superpower I have. Some people should be very fucking thankful. But I am going to tell you, you have total control of setting your altars. You have total control of doing your intentions. You have total control of getting up every morning and lighting your altar, saying your mantras to yourself, being grateful. You know what it takes to be grateful? A whole lot of fucking sorrow. You want to see grateful fucking people? They are people who have come from the pits of hell and pulled themselves back out. Grateful is watching someone you love walk again when they were told they never could. Grateful is looking around your home and realizing it's fucking freezing out there and I'm warm. Grateful is looking upon the screen in a Zoom and seeing all those women and know that I'm using my gift for the right fucking purpose. That is grateful. It's little things. And the little things turn into these huge mountains that you can once be immensely gratuitous for in the world. But when you reach a level that you are grateful, you have to be of service to others so they can see your example. The reason we live through this is to support others while they're trying to survive something. Does that make sense to you? So if we dedicate ourselves to our work just for 3 moon cycles, I'm not even saying months, I'm saying moon cycles, okay? Through the ebbs and flows of the I don't fucking want to do this. I'm so tired. This moon is in the quarter of Uranus and fucking Neptune, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. All that. Just take each moon cycle as it comes. Write your intentions, but your dedication has to cover till spring. You've got to get out of winter. You've got to survive winter. I will no longer be referring to Imbolc as Candlemas or Imbolc. It will be the fucking name. Because by the end of this month, I will be so deep in my fucking work, I will feel like I have fucked myself. Because some of you are in the same position. You've made this dedication to yourself to work on yourself this winter and grow and do things. How many of you already regret the promises you made to yourself in the beginning of the season? I know I do. I regret the goals I put forward for myself because they're so fucking big and they're not even big. Oh, I want to make a salt that I can use all year long. How long have I been sitting here with a bowl of fucking salt on my altar trying to figure out what I'm going to fucking add to it? It's been a week now and I've added 2 things and I needed to have 7. Yes, I got a lot of work to do between tonight and tomorrow night. You need to understand the basis of this dedication. So let's get into it. Are you ready? If you don't have a PDF, this is where you need to start writing. This is where I'm mean, mom, and I'm going to tell you there are certain things you need to do. You need to have a representation of all 5 elements: air, fire, water, earth, and ta-da, spirit. Get your spirit fingers out. Okay. Now, what I'm going to tell you for spirit is, and some of you that are not crafty are about to really fucking hate me. The best spirit representation for your altar is an effigy. So in Norse tradition, when we call a deity forward to work with them, not necessarily worship them, but ask for a little bit of support, we create an effigy. Sometimes it's made of sticks. And when I say rudimentary, yeah, this fucking, yeah, some red string around a stick and I put some hair on it. That's Angerboda and I throw her in the fire. Okay. That's all she gets. I don't get all fucking crafty with her because she's crazy and I don't want to fucking waste my time. Because I'll just hear about how fucking lazy I was anyway. So might as well be lazy to start with. So when you're making this effigy of yourself, you can get as fancy or simple as you want. But you really have to have something that represents you on your altar. Now, for some of you, that's not a possibility. You can't make a doll. It's not in your thing. So make that candle represent you. Adorn that candle with correspondences that radiate you. So, for instance, I'm a pine and cinnamon and flower kind of girl. So, for me, that's a black candle with pine and cinnamon wrapped around it, tied with a string, and that string holds my intentions. I'll write on that string the intention I come to, the mantra I'm using for the season. And that's my center, that's my spirit, and all four go around. You need to have these five on your altar. It's integral. You can't skip this. I know it's laziness where we don't set altars, but for a dedication, you need to get a little pompy and circumstancy. This is a big situation you're doing here. This is you having some time for you. That means you should cleanse the space you're using. You should dedicate your tools to that dedication. Yeah, this is, that big four-letter word you all hate, work. This isn't oh, I did a dedication, Sissy, because I set it over a candle. Okay, fucking lazy witch, I see you. And guess what? You're gonna stick to it the same fucking way. You're not gonna do it because that meant nothing to you. You put no work into it, so it doesn't matter. It's like the gold digger who marries the 80-year-old man and gets the $5 million. It'll be gone in 3 years because she didn't fucking earn it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't be a gold digging witch. Don't go to other people to have all your shit made for you. Don't go to other people to do your work for you and fucking take the time to put something into your magic. I feel like I've been running this game for 5 years with you assholes. That's why my fucking feet hurt. I'm saying the same shit for 5 years, just a different way. So tonight we're going to say it real blunt. Do your fucking work and don't be lazy. Got it? Make sense? Okay. Now everybody who's new around here is like, she's a bitch. Certifiable. Certifiable bitch. This is important. If you're going to take time to do a dedication, do it right. Okay? So get your five representations. Now, I want you to think how you're going to use them long term in the next 3 months. How are these things going to stay on your altar? Well, if you have a bowl of water, you got to renew it. The fire, you have to feed it. Your dedication altars need fed daily. How do you feed them? You light the candles. You spend time speaking into them. You spend a little time at your altar every day. I don't have space for an altar. What kind of fucking witch doesn't make space for an altar? Knock it off. Just stop your fucking excuses. I don't want to fucking hear them. I don't want to hear, I can't because of everything apartment. Good. Get a fucking electric candle. Do you understand? Like, this is not the year of excuses. We won't be doing excuses this year. We will be doing get shit done. Does that make sense? Let's do get shit done this year. Okay. We're starting out with a dedication, a pretty intense dedication that I think I've given you a lot of work to work into. Correct? So you can fucking do this. I have faith in you. On a scale of 1 to 10, we're like an 8. I know you can do this. Okay. There's still a little doubt in me. I still think some of you have anal glaucoma where you can't see your ass doing this tomorrow night, but I believe you can. Okay. So you need to cleanse and dedicate this space for this working. Real simple. Wipe it down, cleanse it, all of the things. Are we clear? set it up, get it ready to go. Now, so if you have the PDF, this I'm going over the PDF, okay? So if you don't have the PDF, start fucking writing, okay? $3 will probably break you, so let's just get you to write this out, okay? What is a magical dedication? It's the declaration of your devotion to yourself or a deity. I'm not asking you to do a deity devotion at all. That is not what I'm asking you to do here. So this alleviates all the excuses of all of you going, I don't really work with a deity. I don't fucking care. I didn't tell you to. Y'all want to take on a deity right now? Be my fucking guest. I'm just worried about myself right now. I will scream out in the middle of it. Can someone fucking help me? Because I'm fucking lost. Because it will happen. And somebody will pick my weathered fucking ass up and be like, so what'd you get yourself into now? That's how it works. And when that happens, we cross that bridge when we get there. But for right now, I'm walking alone in this and dedicating to me. What is the most important situation in writing this? You need to know what you believe, where you're going, and what you want to accomplish in your magic. There's a whole lot more written here in the PDF. It's not necessarily important. Just break it down to simple stuff. I'm all about simple shit. You know me. I'm all about keeping it simple. What do you believe? What do you want to add to your daily practice? Be fucking realistic, guys. You're not going to go out every day for a 20-minute walk and go find something magical. It's not going to fucking happen. Okay? It's fucking cold outside. For those of us that live in the north, it's fucking cold and the cold hates our face and we hate its face. Okay? So you got to be realistic. I go outside 10 minutes a day mandatorily to walk my fucking dog because he's an asshole and will not go poop by himself. Okay? So I know 10 minutes a day I'm outside. I'm not going to find something magical other than Sam's crap at the end of that walk. Okay? So that is not a realistic fact. Dedications need to be written realistically. Does that make sense? What can you see yourself doing long term? Because you need to work this dedication into your real life practice after it's done. This is just not, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to do this and I'm going to learn a whole rune each moon cycle and I'm going to do this. If you don't think you can do it, don't put it in there. I know with everything else I'm responsible for, learning new things right now is hard. And if you're like me, which I know you're all busy, learning new things is hard. There's never enough hours in the day. There's never enough time to return all the emails. There's never a time to wear all the hats I need to wear. So I need to make sure the wit chat that I put on, it's really well and I'm doing it well. Because if I'm failing at it, I feel like I'm failing at a lot of things. How many of you have just quit in the past at this because you feel like you were failing on so many levels? It happens all the time. When you have ADHD, they call this the freeze. We are so overwhelmed, we freeze. Nothing else can be done. We just freeze. Like, for instance, looking at that KDPQ with the hold and all the shit I had to do, I was like, I froze. It was terrifying because I knew how much I had to do to get to the next level. When I know something has to be done, I will push through. So if you make this dedication a priority for yourself, the freeze is less likely to happen if there's less things going on in it. Do you understand? Keep your dedications simple. One or two things you want to do in your practice every day. If you do more, it's a fucking bonus. Do you understand? If all you make a deal with yourself is I'm going to pull a card every day and I'm going to say something I'm grateful for every night and I'm going to light my altar, it's a great place to start. You can renew your dedications at each moon cycle. Okay, I'm going to add this. I did this great. Get a habit tracker with this. Y'all have habit trackers. I've given hundreds of them out. Color it in when you've done it every day. Make it a pretty little flower to keep on your altar. Okay? Do something to encourage yourself to do the right thing. Yes, sometimes you need to be treated like a kindergartner. I know I do, but I learned everything I need to know in kindergarten. Snacks are good, naps are good, and people suck. 3 rules I learned, and I should have stuck with them. Okay? I don't get a nap. I don't get as many snacks. And I got to deal with so many fucking people. So kindergarten taught me everything I needed to know, and I ignore it. Witchcraft is the same way. A daily guide, a home point, and a grateful point. If you stick to those three things, you will feel successful at the end of 30 days because you'll know you did it. It's not like the gym, just saying. How many of you are like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym every day? No, you're not. I love you, but no, you're not. I love your delusion. Can I join in it too? Because it ain't going to happen. Okay. Now, supply list. You need to have a candle. I don't care if it's bad or your fire, you need to have a candle. It's important. A focal point flame is important. Okay. I don't care if it's a small Scentsy burner, whatever you're allowed to do in the area you're in, you have to have it. It's important. Light resonates to your hearth space. Does that line for you? If you see fire, you feel fire. It happens when you're outside at a fire, when you get near a fire, you feel it internally. It lights you up, it pushes you forward, it gives you new life. That fire is important in this aspect. I don't care if it's a candle, I don't care if it's a battery powered candle, you need some form of light. You are just an overgrown houseplant. You need light to grow. Okay? You need light in your magic and you need light in your life. And yes, I do encourage you all to get outside a couple hours of the day. It's really good for you. How are you going to purify yourself? Weekly. This is where a tea or a spray or a meditation comes in handy. How are you going to clear this energy weekly that you're holding on to? How are you going to check in weekly with yourself? Pick your day of the week that your week belongs to. Okay. You choose the day of the week that is your start point whenever you choose. Okay. Doesn't have to be what everybody else does. I start my weeks on Tuesdays because Mondays are junk and they never work out well. So Tuesday is the start of my week because Monday is just a bad rendition of Sunday. It just, it all runs together. Okay. Because I'm trying to finish up everything I didn't get done before. So I start my week on Tuesdays. It's just the way it works for me. Okay. So when I'm checking in and I'm doing things, that's the day of the week I'm taking inventory. I'm slowing down and looking at everything to make sure I've really gotten done what I need to get done. So Monday nights is my big journal entry, and Tuesday mornings is my fresh start. So pick the day of the week you're going to start on. Okay. This is a practice you're going to add after you've done your dedication. You need to really identify when your week starts. You can do it any day you want. Some of you work weekends. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday doesn't work for you. You have to think about how you're going to do this. What is your day of rest? Because your week should start on your day after your day of rest. Make sense? Whenever you rest, start your week the day after. And I know what I'm hearing next. Sissy, I never rest. Shut the fuck up. Just pick a day, okay? Stop being difficult. Just pick a fucking day. I'm so sick of the exception to every rule. Here at the LHC, we will no longer be taking the exceptions to the rule. Grow the fuck up and find a way. Where there's a witch, there's a fucking way. Figure it out. You're grown up now. Welcome to fucking feral women where you're a grown up. I'm telling you, all your grown ups now, stop acting like babies. Okay? So you want to have these supplies, you want to have your purification, do your purification ritual on your first day of the week. If that's your cup of tea and your journaling, whatever you're going to do that on your first day of the week. Weekly. You notice I didn't say moon cycle wise. Weekly. You've got to keep check-ins when you're doing dedications. Because if you don't, it all gets out of hand. Think about it. It's like you're spending. If you have a credit card and you just spend and you don't check in, you're broke. If you have Amazon and you have the buy now button, you're broke. Because if you don't check in, you don't know what you're spending. Fair? The same happens with your spiritual currency. Your magic has a currency value. What you put into your magic, you ready? Here's the best part. Invest in yourself, and the universe will return your investment. You all see those manifesting checks over in the white lighter groups? You see those? You can write them for more than money. You can write them for magical things you want to yield from your investment. Do you want to move deeper into your tarot practice? Do you want to move deeper into your oracle practice? Do you want to learn to read? Do you want to learn to craft? What do you want to add in? Write that manifesting check and stick it in your dedication. You can get more from the universe than money. I, what the fuck, right? Whoever thought about that? Because checks are only for money. Once upon a time, in a far off land, people did things for things other than money. Okay? Ass or cash. The universe will take your ass if you don't have anything else to offer, I assure you. Start thinking about your practice as an investment. This dedication is an investment in you. Manifesting checks are great to use in a dedication. I love that. A jar full of your intentions. Great. Put 10 intentions in a jar. Weekly, open that jar and read them and see what you're accomplishing. You might realize that you can pull 6 out of there in a month and put 6 more in because you've been doing it for a month. Now it's just part of the practice. Now you can add something else in. You need to check back in with these things. Do your dedication, sit. Now, you're going to love this. You're all going to fucking love this, what I'm about to tell you. You ready? Your toes are going to tingle. Your nipples are going to get hard because I'm about to tell you something amazing. This can be done on new moon, or this can be done in the waxing moon. It is a building potential in your magic. It needs to be done in the first week of that new moon, preferably the new moon, but you have that waxing energy. I will be using the waxing energy because I need a push. I have a couple things in my magic I really need to push. Right now, I'm really working on a healing aspect of my magic that I need to push because I need to be able to heal Caroline and I on the fly, not here and there. I need to be able to continually do it. We are working in an energetic deficit at all times. I need to push constantly. So I need that energy of the push of the waxing moon. If you are looking for something in your magic you really want to push, you need a whole lot of red pepper flake and coffee in your candle blends. Do you understand? You are pushing. You are pushing this magic, and you need to have good protections in place. This is the other thing about a dedication. Make sure your wards are redone. Make sure your home is protected. Put a good wipe down through your house. Put a new warding spell in your house. Make a new spray for your house. You all know how to make a simmer pot, right? Dilute it by half and make a fucking spray bottle. They're at the Dollar Tree, 3 in a pack. Little spray bottles. Take half the bottle as the simmer pot essence, half of it with as a rubbing alcohol, witch hazel, or water, and spray down your house. You are the master of this hearth. Take control of it. This new moon dedication is about taking control of your space and yourself. Do you understand? This is about cutting all the bullshit, cutting what other people are telling you you need to do, and taking the power into your own hands. You control this game, not someone else. Yes, there are core values you need to learn. You need to protect your home. You need to keep your altars clean. You need to do these things, but you need to have control of your directional magic, where you're going. No one else can do that for you. You can take every class in the world. Every class in the world, it isn't going to make a difference. I assure you. If you are lost, you will continue to be lost. I don't know how many of you have a GPS and you go into the darker part of the countryside because you think it's going to be really fun to go out for a ride. Your GPS doesn't work, does it? The deeper you get into other people's communities and magic, the harder it's going to be for you to find your direction because you get covered in the dust of your rabbi. If you drink the Kool-Aid everywhere you go, you're going to start doing what they all do. Before you go setting yourself into communities that you have no idea what's fucking going on, know who you are before you do that. I'm all about you guys going into communities, learning things, growing, but know who the fuck you are before you go in. You can't grow your magic if you're just copying someone else's magic. Xerox magic never works. It doesn't work. It'll give you minimal results because the universal bank knows you didn't make the investment. Someone else did. Someone else did their work. Someone else pushed forward. Someone else made those sacrifices to move forward. So you're going to do your dedication. I gave you two examples in this PDF. If you did not get the PDF, I'm going to read one of them for you. I dedicate myself to the craft of the wise. I embrace the ancient wisdom of the earth, the stars, and the spirits. I commit to living a life of magic in harmony with nature and in service to the divine. I honor my ancestors and my guides, and I seek their guidance and protection in all that I do. I strive to cultivate compassion, courage, and integrity in my thoughts, words, and deeds. I trust in the power of the universe to manifest my intentions, and I am grateful for all the blessings that come my way. So shall it be. You notice I didn't ask for it like a birthday candle. I'm declaring it. Wishes are for birthday candles. Declarations are for intentions. Do you understand? So when you look at these dedications, for those of you that have this, don't use these word for word. I'm giving you an idea of what they need to look like. A properly crafted dedication requires it's your intentions, your direction, and what you need. Does that make sense to everyone? So if you're going on Pinterest to copy down a dedication, oh, you're just going to strengthen that which you already wrote. You realize that, right? When you do other people's spell work, you're feeding them. The universe is going, oh, well, this belongs to this witch, so I'm just going to do it this way. What's even worse is when people do pay other people to do the spell work for them. You're not getting any credit from the universal bank. The universe doesn't even know where that spell work needs to go to. I love people that do work for other people, but the main point is if you send it to someone, they got to add themselves to it. I'm sending that spell work done. Someone sending you spell work and everything is complete, signed, sealed, delivered, and you just sit it on your altar. Mm-mm, mm-mm. You'll notice everything you get from me is unsealed because you got to add something to it. Your salts are open, your teas are open, all those things. We just had a discussion before class started about the ceremony of teas, drinking the same tea for 3 days. Add yourself to the fucking tea. Choose the tea bag in your drawer that works with it. I don't care if it's a Lipton. Dude, I fucking live on Lipton iced tea brewed on the stove with fucking sugar. I'm not gonna lie to you. I live on that shit. If you're at my house, you know I live on that shit. It's how I live. But when I get a tea in the mail, I add to it. When I get a spell blend to the mail, I add to it. When I get a smoke blend, I add to it. Because it's not my magic if it doesn't have my essence. And you can't be doing other people's magic in your dedication. That is super important. Has to be you. I don't care if it smells like shit. If it's you, the universal knows that bitch is trying. It's stinky this time. She'll get better next time. You understand? Because I'm going to tell you right now, new magic smells like shit when it starts, but it gets better and you learn more and you grow more. And eventually you're sitting back going, damn, why did I get this good? Because you're fucking shocked at how you've grown. Sometimes when you look back from where you came from, you can't believe where you were. Believe me, looking back on old videos the other day on YouTube and through Facebook, I couldn't believe that it was the same person when I started. I can't believe it. I was so full of fucking piss and vinegar. Fucking funny. The fucking kindergarten teacher that once walked this earth. I don't know where the fuck she came from. I'm glad she's back there. You know what I mean? You grow. Life kicks you a couple times and you grow. stronger. Don't be so hard on yourself if it's really hard with the first dedication. Give yourself some grace. You're doing it. That's all that matters. Could be ugly. You might light the altar cloth on fire. I'm here for you. Have a glass of water handy. Believe me, I've lit many candles on fire. I've burnt rice. It happens. Believe me, I've done it all. You're not going to fuck up so bad you can't come back from it. If you get wax on something, throw it in the freezer. It'll peel right off. You understand? Don't sell yourself short. There's always a way to fix it. The universal saying is, and I have it in my house, it's on a big plaque. It says, where there's a witch, there's a way. And I believe it because we can figure anything out. So, the four things that I think you should do to support your new magical dedication are create a magical sanctuary. That is a small area of your home for your practice. That is your magical sanctuary. My husband will tell you I've taken over probably 3/4 of this house with my magical fucking sanctuary, and he's over it. Okay. So the deeper you get into magic, the more everybody else is sick of your fucking magic. Does that make sense? Okay. So start small. You need to acclimate the frog before you cook them. If you have husbands or partners who are like just little bits here and there. Now he goes to bed at night. He goes, these pillows smell like lavender. I'm like, no, they don't. What are you talking about? So, yeah. So we've moved it into the sheets now. So, yeah, we're just moving it right along. Caroline's entire room is covered in crystals and little cauldrons and moon hangings. Just moving it right along. Okay. There's not a room in my house that doesn't have a twin flames candle. Just moving it right along. Okay. So make those sanctuaries. Use correspondences that enhance your magic. If you're using something in your dedication, work it into your common spell work. Make sense? Less shit to buy, ladies, right? So if you find you really like rosemary, next time you're at the grocery store, get a big bunch of rosemary, hang it up, fry it, and that's your herb to focus on for this season. Cut your fucking shit back. Focus on smaller amounts of things and really learn about them. It helps. When you learn what that one herb can do, you can use it for a lot. And you can infuse an herb to do what you want it to do. You spend a little time with it, you keep it on your altar. I have rosemary that's for abundance. I have rosemary that's for protection. I have rosemary that's for hexing. You can make an herb do what you want it to do. It's called intention. Remember that. If you can't hex, you can't heal. You have to remember these things. In folk magic, that runs true. Practice meditation and visualization. I can't meditate. Okay, can you sit in a room with a small journal or pencil? Because the next one is keep a magical journal, listen to music, and let your heart write. The best way to learn automatic writing is let your soul take over the writing. Just step back and let it write. It won't make sense. It won't always ring true, but it will come through. If you're going to want to master that skill, and I've gotten rid of by it like almost probably 10 people in the last 6 months. How do I automatic write, Sissy? Be glad it's not your gift. That's all I'm going to say. It's an overwhelming need to write, and you can't stop. But if you meditate regularly, you'll find your soul self writes a lot more. And it can be 10 minutes out. It doesn't have to be massive. And yes, you can use the same meditation over and over again. I meditate to 5 minutes of Norse strumming. That's it. That's it. No music, no words, a beat and a chant. That's it. And it's not even a chant of words, it's a throat chant because it takes me out of the current place. Whatever takes you out of the current place, you need to do. because you need to separate yourself from this muggle and this liminal wall that you balance on. Even the oceans have a place where the water doesn't mix. Does that make sense to you? There's got to be a place where the ocean meets the sand. Your liminal and your realistic life cannot always mix. They need to have a divide. You need the twixt and tween to work your magic. Those things are going to be essential for you. But the one thing you have to remember is make these goals realistic, make these goals tangible, and most importantly, make them written down that you can reference them. That dedication needs to sit somewhere you can see it. And you're reminded of the commitment you made to yourself, not to me, not to anyone in the circle, but to you. This is a new moon. This is a really in your feelings of moving forward. You've got to let things behind that no longer serve you. Because if you bring them into this new year, you're going to have to heal them. If it sticks with you, it's something you need to work on. Does that make sense? Okay. I am going to thank everyone for coming right now, and I am going to shut down the recording and then I will take questions. How's that work, guys? Thank you, everybody, for coming. This is the replay. The PDF can be obtained in the LAC shit store. You're magic because you fucking say you are. Thanks for coming.